Teddy Feinberg, Brook Stockburger, Weekly Sun News Sports Video. We are going to talk Devon House, other Aggies that could go to the NFL or currently in the NFL, and we're also going to touch on, very briefly, high school baseball. Brook, Devon House, projected to be a 2nd to 4th round pick, an Aggie going in the 2nd round. If that happens, I'm going to fall off my couch if an Aggie gets drafted.
We haven't had an Aggie drafted that high in quite some time, but he's really been impressing the scouts lately, and he's been moving up a lot of the mock drafts. Take those with a grain of salt, but I've seen him even projected to go as high as the 2nd round to the Detroit Lions.
The Lions are my favorite team. That's just a side note. I'm going to break out my Mel Kiper Jr. right now. Devon, from a physical standpoint, just over 6 feet tall, between 190 and 200 pounds. Prototypical size for an NFL corner. He runs a 4, I believe it's a 4.3 40, somewhere in that region.
4.37 at the combine.
He's got good speed. I think a big thing for him is going to be putting on some more strength. And what does that mean? Tackling an Andre Johnson or a Calvin Johnson is different than tackling Eric Greenwood from the University of Idaho. So, to tackle in the NFL in the open field is...
And also you get that first bump you're allowed in the first 5 yards. A big 6'4", 220 receiver can knock you off your back pedal and zoom right past you. So he needs to bulk up a little bit more, maybe that upper body strength. But he's scrappy. Scouts are liking him. And he's a self-made man, didn't have a college scholarship, walked on, and has made himself an NFL prospect.
A 2nd to 4th round projection is just astronomical to me. Let's also, you mentioned before airing here about, possible Aggies being invited to camps and the lockout. What's your train of thought here?
Yeah, I mean, NFL teams do that. As soon as the draft ends, phones start ringing. They try to bring in 10 to 20 more college kids to, fill out their roster, have tackling dummies in camp, and then, a few stars come out of that too. But with the lockout, if it's continued, they can't do that. So any Aggies who think they might get a shot at NFL camp have to just wait and see.
Well, and playing off that point, actually, 2 former Aggies, Nick Cole and Tony Raggi, they actually weren't drafted, undrafted free agents, but have carved out nice careers for themselves on NFL offensive lines. They're actually free agents at this point, too. Raggi played for the Niners last year, Cole for the Eagles. Do want to touch very quickly on prep baseball. Cruces High is a big doubleheader against Oñate Friday. They sweep that. They're district champs. So if people are interested in that game starts at 5 o'clock Friday evening. Let's move on to our mailbag very quickly. This question is coming from Tim, longtime Aggie fan. He wants to know, how in the heck can we compete with UNM when considering the high-end salaries they pay not just their head coaches but also assistant coaches? And he wants to know if the Aggies have any political clout whatsoever in Santa Fe. I think it's valid questions. Tim, to answer your question, honestly, the Aggies really can't compete with the Lobos.
No, it's just, that's the way it is. We used to have Lou Henson, who would go up there and really charm the legislatures and everything and coach them in their basketball game, and that helped to have a face like that. But we're always going to be playing second fiddle to UNM.
Money talks. College sports is no different. You get what you pay for. But your point's well taken. It's tough to swallow as an Aggie fan when UNM is paying Steve Alford $1 million. But that's life.
And what can you do?
Folks, thanks for joining us as always. Check us out, Facebook, Twitter, lcsun-news.com. Have a great week.